on the screen in the middle.
I got it. So, all right, now we're going.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Hillary Masters, and this is my husband, Benjamin Masters. Daphne and Holly have been really great with me over the past year. I met them through the dressage world. I am a hunter jumper rider, but I love to dabble in everything. So they invited me to their clinic, and it was super fun, and I've been ever since. So I'm very grateful to you guys for allowing us to chat with everyone. My husband's going to give you a little bit of a background of XPI Emergency Relief, and I'm going to explain a little bit about how we've tried to work the equestrian community into our efforts as well.
So Hillary and I have always been interested in giving back and trying to lead by example in this world and try to help wherever we could. But we were always looking for the way that we could help in a way that played on our strengths. And when this whole COVID thing happened and we saw the material shortages happening around the world, I looked at my own infrastructure, and I happen to run a supply chain management company out of China. So we have boots on the ground there, we have a facility, and we have experience in buying things and making sure they're correct and shipping them around the world. So we realized that, well, this is our opportunity to, we can get the stuff that people need, so let's just get it. And one of the difficulties of getting this stuff from China was that they require upfront payment. So we decided to use our own funds to buy this stuff, and then ship it over to the United States. And then came the part of distributing it. We wanted to make sure that we were able to distribute these critical items to the people that needed it. So we started this XPI Emergency Relief Fund, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And we hired a board, and we started to bring on volunteers. And ever since then, we've just been trying to spread it. We have stuff to whatever we need to do. We have some gloves, and we just want to get it into the hands of those that need it. Along the way, we came up with this concept of making these little kits, and these little kits have 10 masks in them and some 2 pair of gloves. And we thought, well, this is kind of a good thing as kind of like a fundraiser. They sell candy bars and they raise funds, and we could sell these instead and raise funds, to support our other stuff, which is giving these supplies away to people that need them. We've been focused up till now. We've been focused on not only just individuals that are in need, people that they can't get these types of things because they're poor or they're elderly and they can't leave their house. We've focused on them, and we've also focused on organizations that are trying to help. What we realized was take let's say a Boys and Girls Club, for example. They have their mission, but right now their mission is on hold, so they're doing other things. So we wanted to support them doing the other things. They're volunteers as they're giving away food or doing whatever they do. So we've been supporting a number of different nations in different ways by getting them these supplies to either use themselves to protect themselves or to give to the people they're helping.
So part of the first initiative with everything was when they opened the showgrounds back up at WEF and Global. David Burton there, who's a friend of mine, and also with the barn that I train at, which is a world-class equestrian center with the Gamboa family. When he opened, he was like, I don't even know how I am going to have my whole staff ready and have supplies ready for the people there. So I went to David, and we've been working together, and I've also been in contact with some of the people who are in charge up at the Kentucky Horse Show Park. And basically what we're trying to do is we're having these kits available at any of the horse show locations. They can be available at barns, at clinics. I know Daphne and Holly had talked about when Plantation reopens their showgrounds. And basically it's a really great way for anyone who comes to the showgrounds to watch, or even competitors, the stable staff, all of your grooms, things like that. Like, a lot of people can't find this stuff in general, and then if they do, it's very high priced. So what we're kind of asking is, if we sell these at any of the locations, it's $10 for one of these packs, and then all of the money goes back to the charity, which then we match any of the donations with our giveaways that we do with different events throughout the community. And like it's just a great way to have this ready to go for anyone who needs it for anything going on in the horse world. So we've definitely been trying to spread it just within, you know, the equestrian community and others, but this is our main world and we live at our horse farm basically. You know, we want to help everyone that we see, and obviously everyone wants to get back to their sport that we all love, and you know, we want all horses and we all want to be safe when we're able to travel with them. So yeah, that's kind of our goal and our mission. So the more people who know about it and can help us out, you know, we're local, we live in Miami, I'm in Southwest Ranches every day. So, you know, I'm happy to even bring them to anyone, you know, if they want to supply them in their barn or at their events, and I'm easy to reach and we can hopefully all work together. That's the goal.
Cool. That's awesome. Did you think about maybe Tryon or Ocala, the Ocala World Equestrian Center?
So David had originally sent out an email internally to the different showgrounds, and I know I've heard back from a few, but Tryon I haven't heard back from. I mean, if I can, even if someone has a contact for them, I would reach out to them. Or I think it's WCEC or WEC. Are they I forget what they called. Is that in Ohio? But I heard that they totally, I don't know if they were reopening or not. I'm not 100% sure.
Tryon, North Carolina.
They were not going to do the Ohio circuits this
Right.
fall, but they're actually planning on opening the Ocala facility. They're betting on that they'll be able to.
Yeah, them. Yeah, but I would love to speak to them as well.
So
You know what? I read that Lorena Gelber, you know her maybe?
I don't know her, no.
You don't?
I don't think, no, not personally.
No, she's in Southwest Ranches also. She's a hunter jumper, does also dressage. And she is going up to Michigan for some horse show.
Oh, okay.
So even I could maybe put you in, I don't know when she's leaving, but maybe I can put you in contact with her.
Yeah, that would be great.
See, at least you get the information from the circuit that is already, you know, up and going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be great.
Fox Lee up in the West Coast, they are running.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to go there the 4th of July weekend. I think the 2 weeks. I was speaking to Leanne, Pablo's wife. She runs the office there as well. So yeah, I've been speaking to her about that as well.
Oh, okay.
Foxley. I know they're already running, so.
Yeah. Okay.
have you talked to anybody in USEF to maybe help spread that? I mean, certainly, I mean, USEF, because you're more hunter jumper and not we're more familiar with talking to people in USDF because
yeah, but that's the thing with the USEF too, is from, you know, everyone here, Leanne and everyone I can get in contact with, but the USDF, you guys know everyone. Like I said, I'd love to be involved in in both. So if you guys have people that I can reach out to on your side of the sport, I'd be more than happy to reach out to them this week.
Is there anything on, I'm just looking, let me just open the, well, basically, I mean, both Daphne and I are on the USDF GMO officials group.
Okay.
And so we can reach out to them and tell them certainly about the packaging and because they're, you know, certainly we're small potatoes as far as running horse shows ourselves here, but there are other GMOs that they're it for the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I forget what the name of it is, but the big GMO in Georgia, you know, basically runs the horse shows that are run out of there. So, and they have a membership. It's huge. It's, you know, whatever, 500 people or something. So.
Okay. And then the other thing that we're trying to put together as well, because the way we're trying to find the smoothest way to I kind of gather like a type of payment if people want to donate, because originally the $10 is more so for people just to donate back to the Emergency Relief Fund. You know, obviously we're more than happy to donate also in some way with like you know, we could, if people buy 100 in there when they sell them at the showgrounds, we would match that donation just to the showgrounds in general. But we're coming up with like, hopefully one of those little QR codes, because I know that's been one of our difficulties. David is just like selling with and he was like, oh, maybe I could put them on the horse show bill and all these different things. But we're trying to come up with just a little QR code so people can do it right on their phones, which would be, you know, it would make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
And then it's a good way for us to track where where any of the donations come from, and so we can on our end make sure everything is organized.
How do you identify who the organizations that you're giving to? And
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the first part of what you said.
How are you guys identifying who you are giving to?
So the XPI Emergency Relief Fund is the charity.
Right, but how do you identify who the masks are the masks are going to, or the supplies are going to? So,
oh, you mean like the charity donation type of thing?
Yeah, like the Boys and Girls Clubs. Where
So we're open to new ones. You know, we have a list of numbers that we get from people, like, oh, you should call this organization or you should call that organization. So we're kind of pecking away at those. We just been dealing with the people that are brought to us. So if you have more people, we can talk to them too.
Yeah, we're not really taking like a path on just like sticking to like a niche community or, you know, thing like that. We're basically, it's like an overall general, whoever we can have outreach and needs like the supplies we've been working with. So
I mean, I personally like the opportunity to help organizations that are helping children. You know, I believe that they're the future, and I want to see, you know, especially underprivileged children, I want to see them get, you know, that's why, you know, we gravitate towards organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, where, you know, they're providing a service for these children so that they can grow into be better adults. And for them to provide that service, the kids need to be wearing masks and the adults need to be wearing masks. And, you know, so we're dealing with them on, we're trying to be their like supplier on a national level to help them with their 4,000 clubs, you know. But here locally, you know, we're open. We love more people to talk to.
right. And so maybe there's somebody else in the group that works in a different industry or something. If you see like an opportunity for, you know, to help Hillary and Ben to get more masks to more people, I put the website on the chat so you can see where you can contact them.
yes, and we have an Instagram and a Facebook and all different types of, you know, social media links to it as well.
Facebook's really good because, you know, you can post things as they happen and everyone can keep in touch.
Yeah, so us, the people that are here, maybe we can make the pledge to follow them on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media you are using, so we can spread the word and help them spread the word. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, Hillary's typing the Instagram and Facebook stuff in the chat section of the Zoom here, so you guys can take a look.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Great. Terrific. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Anything we can do for anyone, it's our pleasure.
Great. Okay. Thanks. I'm going to do the Instagram thing right now while we're just hanging out.
I have one question. I think that it's important to help the people that take care of our horses. I mean, I work with people like Daniel, the guy that takes care of my horse. I know that my barn has given him masks and things, but a lot of these people they can't watch television to see what's happening.
Right.
Many of them are undocumented and they cannot even leave their houses to get stuff, or if they leave, they're super scared. I don't know if there's some way that we can help these people with your masks, maybe, I don't know, making a donation to help them get them or something.
Yeah, so we have the stuff. If anyone here can come up with an idea of how to smoothly distribute to all these people, we're down for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Because what we would do is we would just give, like, let's say we do like maybe like 50 packs, and we can distribute, we can just put that it was a donation, let's say even to, we could say workforce for such and such farm LLC or whichever, you know, barn or, you know, organization that it is, and we'll just do the donation, and they'll just get a bunch of these packs, and then each one of them could get each one, and they can distribute amongst their own community as well.
Okay, I will write to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Super. And does anybody else have a question for Hillary and Benjamin? No? That's good. Well,
Thanks for having us.
yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. We can see if we can help you guys a little bit more by getting more contacts to, you know, see if, you know, if people can help you distribute the packets.
Even just sharing our Facebook with people, like inviting people to like our page, you know, that's helpful also.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. No problem. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so now we're going to our next guest, Kristen Pierce. She is a professional horse clipper, if you say it like that, clipping person, clipping specialist. What do you call yourself?
Clipping specialist sounds good.
So she's gonna talk to us a little bit about clipping, why you do it, should you clip in the summer, and then she'll touch base on some topics on skin issues that we, in our lovely weather in Florida in the summer, can, you know, may have to deal with. So I'm gonna give her the stage and see if she can give us some useful information. And afterwards we'll have a little Q&A if you have any particular problems you have with your horse, so she can hopefully answer them. She has worked 3 years at the Equine Clinic, and she gathered a world of information on any horse issues, but let's let her talk about that.
All right, thank you for having me, first of all. So for right now, for going into summer, a lot of my clients have horses who are on pasture turnout for a few hours a day, whether it's just in the mornings or overnights or whatever. For clipping during the summer, I always want to highlight that sunburn is a huge issue, especially for horses that are outside during the day. Clipping with a blade that leaves a little bit of coat on their skin is definitely something that you want to do to help give them a little bit of natural protection from the sun. Typically your show clip is going to be done with a number 10 blade. That will give you a short clip. Some people like to use a surgical size clip, which in my opinion is just too short. You can see a lot more mistakes with a shorter blade. So a number 10 is pretty safe for show clips, but during the summer, a T84 is my go-to, and that's what I will always clip with, unless requested by the owner to use a shorter blade. Going back to the sunburn issue, a lot of your fair-skinned horses, Appaloosas, paint horses, those that have a lot of white areas on the face, pink around the muzzle, feel free to use sunblock on them. Human-grade sunblock is totally safe for horses. Even if you just wanted to get a generic zinc oxide, that's good to just put on those white spots and around their muzzle, in addition to UV fly masks and fly sheets if they have pink skin throughout their whole body. Has anybody had any issues with sunburn in their horses? No?
I've seen it on horses that are, especially the paints that have a really pink nozzle. I've seen people put sunscreen on it, but I think it's something you tend to overlook.
Yeah, a lot of people do overlook it, and a lot of people don't realize that they can use, you know, a human grade sunblock. It's easier to get. A lot of people have it in their homes. I like to go with a sunblock that is specifically targeted towards babies because there's a lot less ingredients, there's a lot less irritants, and there's no fragrance in it. So it shouldn't bother the horse at all. You could always try it on a small area first and see if, you know, how they handle it. But most of the time, just plain old zinc oxide will be just fine.
Yeah, I have a question. I tried once a horse that looked fantastic. It was white. He looked really good. But the moment you lifted the tail, he had these like big bumps under the tail. And somebody told me that that was melanoma or skin cancer. So I want to know what your take is on that. And I know skin cancer is not only for people or for horses that are white. Any horse, I think, can get it. Is it like humans or?
So gray horses are more prone to getting melanoma, and the common areas to see it are under their tail, along the dock of their tail. They can have it, you know, within their throat area, but typically gray horses are more prone to it, but any horse can get it. It's kind of rare to see it in horses that are not gray, but it can happen. And a lot of times, you know, if it's not bothering them, you don't need to really do anything about it. But if it is starting to, you know, affect them, you can always have them surgically removed.
I heard somewhere that in general they don't encourage people to remove them, and as you say, as long as it doesn't bother them, just to leave it be.
Yeah, the thing is, if you do remove them, I mean, more oftentimes than not, they're going to come back. So you can have one removed and you might have another one pop up in the same place, you know, 6 months later, a year later, melanomas will keep coming back.
Right. Can they spread to the rest of the body? Do you know?
Yeah, they can. Horses, they can have melanomas, you know, anywhere throughout their body. I knew a horse once, it was a gray, and it had melanomas all over its body, but most pronounced on either side of its head, and they were the size of like 2-liter soda bottles on either side of its head.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can get pretty big.
Okay, so better check that tail, Natalie.
Yeah, Cartucho's got some, but they're relatively small compared to like Lori had a horse that had much bigger ones. So, but Natalie, have you noticed any on yours?
No.
That's good.
As to the sunburn, I had experience with my actual bay mare, but she has a huge blaze in Oregon. So it's pretty dry in summer and no clouds whatsoever like here. And she got pretty strong burn every summer before I found out that I need to put the sun protection, but not, I think the sunscreen with a cream doesn't really do well because it gets too hot. It adds heat because it contains cream. And I ended up using the spray, like sports spray, which I put on my hand and then on the blaze. If I do it like before the season started, we can go through the year without having sunburn. But the minute I forget and she caught a sunburn, that's it. This year we bound to go with a sunburn. So yeah, it's, if the horses are out, it's important to keep this in mind. But in Florida, I don't know how is it really that well. We have sun every season, so probably It's relevant to
It's
any
a good
season.
idea to keep them
Yeah.
protected year round if you
Yeah.
can. Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to touch on is that, right now there's a lot of shows that are not happening. The remainder of WEF was canceled, Global was canceled, which is really sad. But horses definitely still need to stay groomed and clipped even throughout the summer. A common misconception that I hear a lot is that clipping will ruin a horse's summer coat. And I just want to stop that because that's not true. If you clip a horse over summer and its coat looks dull or it looks ruined, you might want to consider a coat supplement. Maybe they're lacking something. If you've done a summer clip and you notice, lines or a little patchy, then unfortunately it wasn't a good clip job. But clipping a summer coat won't ruin it, so don't be afraid to do it. And just because horses are out of show right now, you don't have to do a full nose to tail body clip. Horses that aren't in show, I like to leave a little bit of coat growth on their lower limbs to help to protect them from insects. You walking around in the grass, ants, there's plenty of ants in Florida. So I will do what's called a blended leg. So you take off all the hair from the knee or the hocks up, and then you blend it at the knee or the hocks. This way you don't really want to see, where that line differential is. A good blended leg, you won't be able to tell is blended. It should look very natural, but they're still gonna have that natural protection on their lower limb where, you may not need to put fly boots on them for the season, which I feel is really helpful. Mine would kick them off. That's definitely something that has been helpful to a lot of my clients. And it also brings the price point down, which helps a lot of people too. Blending the face is also something that's a good idea. I don't like to take all of the hair off on the face during the summer because of bugs. The shorter the coat, the easier access the insects will have to biting your horse. And unless you're out there all day putting fly spray on them or they're wearing their fly gear 24/7, they're going to get bit. So leaving a little bit of their natural coat is definitely a deterrent to flies. They have a harder time biting their skin. For horses that are showing or not, I like to always leave a saddle patch. A lot of people don't like saddle patches. A lot of people do like them. Personally, I think it helps with their comfort level, whether they're under saddle, and whether you have a saddle that fits well or not, it's still a good idea because it will keep them more comfortable when being ridden. It gives them extra protection and it's definitely just more comfortable for them. Let's see. So did anybody have any questions about like clipping in general?
Would you leave like a draft type horse with its natural hair? They tend to have more hair, thicker and closer together.
Yeah, their hair is definitely thicker and more coarse than a lighter weighted horse. With a draft horse, are you talking draft horses that have the feathers on their legs?
A little bit. I'm thinking about a particular horse.
So horses that have feathers, a lot of people don't want the feathers touched. If the horse has issues like scratches, you might want to clip those. This way the air can get to it and it can start to heal. But if the horse doesn't have any of those issues, you don't need to clip the feathers. You can leave them and do a blended leg to keep it natural looking for them. But draft horses in particular, they have a really hard time in South Florida. So keeping them clipped year round is definitely to their benefit. I actually have a draft cross myself. He's part halflinger. Over the winter months, I have to clip him every 6 to 8 weeks. His hair just grows so quickly, so fast. And he's got a really thick winter coat. He's from New York, so he's not quite used to Florida yet. But yeah, a lot of your heavier weighted breeds need to be clipped a lot more often. I have clients who are on an automatic every 8-week schedule for their horses.
Could they heat it when they have such a thick coat with this incredible high humidity that they've had today, for example?
Could they what? I couldn't hear that first part.
Could they get overheated?
Absolutely. And a lot of draft horses in particular are prone to what's called anhydrosis. It's when they stop sweating. And when that happens, then you have to start playing with different supplements and medications to try to get them to sweat again. But yeah, if you have a horse that stops sweating, they're going to overheat for sure. If you have a draft horse that still has a thick coat but is still sweating, I wouldn't worry too much, but you don't want to push them to that point where they do stop sweating. It's a good idea to keep them clipped year round still, regardless.
Okay, let me ask you something else. Is the growth hair, does it depend on the amount of hours of light there is in the day, or is it related to cold or hot weather?
They have really no concept of temperature. Their coat doesn't have concept of temperature, so it does solely rely on the change of the light in the day. The darker your days, the longer their coat's going to be. So in the wintertime, that's why they're growing a longer coat, because there's less light in the day.
Right.
And then they start shedding it out after spring when it's lighter longer.
Yeah. Anybody else? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. You know the thing that you get here in Florida, rain rot? I come from South America and we don't have that or any of the skin things they have here. So my question is the clipping helpful to prevent the rain rot, or especially my horse has gotten it, not very bad, but I really have to be on top of it. And like the back legs, there are certain areas of the horse that they get it. So is the clipping help to avoid that or prevent it?
Yeah, clipping will definitely help with rain rot. A lot of people are reluctant to clip a horse that has rain rot because they don't want to hurt them. But you really do want to get down as short as you can to expose the affected areas to air. Air is your best friend when it comes to rain rot. It'll heal the fastest when it is exposed to air. And you want to avoid any shampoos or conditioners that are highly fragranced. You want to stick with like an aloe-based shampoo, and that'll help soothe the area. It won't burn. If you have sores that are open, so this is going to kind of flow into another topic that I wanted to talk about. Any open sore on a horse is going to likely lead to summer sores. It's inevitable. So the preventative measures that you would want to do is to cover those areas. But open sores on a rain rot horse, you can use a topical product such as like scarlet oil spray that will help to heal and protect and deter any bacteria from surrounding that area. And also Equus sells a microtech spray that is also healing and soothing to the affected areas. And that'll definitely reduce any itching or discomfort and rubbing once they start rubbing those areas and opening them up, and you don't want them to do that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Kelly.
So, all right, I used to have a chestnut horse that no matter what I did, he would get fungus on his face, on his back legs, no matter what. I mean, it always happened. Zulu, as you know, is a bay. You know, you've clipped him. a couple times now, and he hardly ever gets fungus like at all. Are some colored horses more susceptible to fungus and rain rot than others, or is it just?
Not necessarily the color. And also just a disclaimer, I'm not a vet. These are just my opinions and advice that I'm sharing. But it sounds more like that particular horse was having more of an environmental reaction than anything. I don't think his color has anything to do with the fungus.
Is there anything you can do to avoid horses getting the fungus, like really dry them, or I don't know?
Yeah, you always, you want to make sure that they're dry before you put them out to turn out. You know, if you have horses out that are outside overnight and it rains, obviously there's nothing you can do about that. If you start noticing fungus forming, a betadine bath is a good idea to help stop any bacterial growth, and it'll also kill any fungal infections that are brewing in there too. And you would want to do a diluted betadine bath.
What was that called?
Betadine?
What's it called?
Betadine. It's an iodine solution.
Oh, it's the iodine, the really strong iodine solution?
It can be pretty strong, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I like to give my own horse a diluted betadine bath at least like once a month, just because he is outside a lot. He is in the grass now a lot, so if I'm not doing his whole body, I'll at least do his legs.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
So I have a question. Can you talk about like the actual clippers themselves, like the maintenance for that? Because I change like the blade driver inside and like oil it, but still sometimes I get like kind of a lag where I have to go over it like twice, and I don't know if it's just or the.
So you'll want to change your blade drive at least once a year. Annually is a good time to do that. What brand clippers do you typically use?
I have Andis. The Andis.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you're keeping your blades oiled when you put them away. A lot of people tend to forget that. Always make sure your blades are oiled when you put them away, and that should help prolong their lifespan. If you are having to go over areas, more than 2 times, it's time for new blades or to get them sharpened.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, anybody else?
Kristen, I actually, when I heard you guys were all talking about the skin, at the same time that we were going to be here, I actually kind of got excited because I have like a trunk full of potions. Constantly trying to keep these horses from everything. From you go there, you wake up one day and they're covered in fungus. But I came across this really cool product that I wanted to share with you guys that I found when I was at the Dublin Horse Show last year. And I was curious if you'd ever heard of it. And it's this stuff called Dublin Dip.
I've never heard of it.
It's actually, so it's this interesting brand called Nia Chai. And they specialize in Ayurvedic formulas. So I don't know if you've heard of the Ayurvedic medicine before. It's very holistic, and it's like an old kind of like Indian type remedies. They use a lot of herbs, things like that. But I tried this out on one of the dogs, and I was like, wow. And it is meant for horses, but it has a lot of neem oil, coconut oil, and it also has colloidal silver. Talking about
silver is very
that would
good.
cure the coronavirus, which I thought was interesting. It has aloe and beeswax, shea butter, and it's infused with aroma and lavender. And this stuff is really, really great. I wanted to share. It's off this website, this Nia Chai. I can share it with you guys. But after I bathe them and dry them, I cover any of their dry spots or fungal spots in this, like their armpit areas, their legs. And I've found that this stuff really will kill it, keep their skin very, very moisturized. And because of the oregano, it keeps the flies away like crazy. And I just apply it like, you know, before they go out or, you know, sometimes at night when I'm there. But I've found that this stuff really gets rid of everything really fast.
That's great.
But I was curious if you had ever heard of it because I found it just randomly and I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share it with you guys because good stuff. I can put it in the.
Would you type the name on the
Yeah.
chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really, really good.
So now that
Okay.
works on dogs also?
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Did you say that works on dogs as well?
Yeah. Yeah, on the farm dog, because she just, oh my God, she's a mess. She's always rolling in something. And I rubbed her and she was itching. And I put this all over her like one day after I bathed her and she stopped itching for like 2 days. And our other friend who had a Jack Russell there, we put it on his like hot spots and everything. And it like, you have to put it on, you know, applicate it pretty regularly, but
yeah, because
really
I'm
nice.
wondering,
And it's not toxic to touch or anything.
yeah, I'm wondering if it's something that I should offer in my grooming salon. So that's why I was.
Yeah, I'll send you the company name and what it's called, and they have other stuff on there too. They actually have a really nice
Cool.
like a
Thank you.
collagen keratin thing you can put on for almost like when you give the Vetrolin baths, but it's a little stronger for tendons. Yeah, they're an interesting.
I put it in the chat, Hillary. So. I put it in the chat. So now you're mute.
You're on mute.
There you go. So. But,
Hillary, you're on mute. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
I hit it. I'm sorry.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, it's really nice stuff. I wanted to share it with you guys because it's I bought it, a couple of them, and store them in my, keep it in a cool place, because if you leave it out in the heat, it will like porously come through the plastic. So you just want to keep it, like kind of in a dry, cool place to store it.
Good to know.
I actually wanted to, I got my stuff too. That I've, okay, so my horse has Cushing's and he's 19. So all of those skin issues are starting to become, whatever, chronic. So one is a question which is that it seems to me like the chronic things actually seem to erupt in the same places every year, kind of at the same time every year, which I think is kind of weird. But the thing that what's actually really worked for me is this EquiShield CK shampoo and lime dip, which stinks like crazy. But this combination has been the best thing for, to use my horse. So anyway, but have you come across it? Like, why would these things be cyclical? Like it's, the same spots seem to show up year after year.
So the stores that are reoccurring, that area of skin is already weakened. So it's a gateway for the flies to get in there. And that's likely why it's happening in the same spot, because they just keep gravitating towards that area. It sounds like it could be like a Florida sore or a summer sore. And that's something I also wanted to heavily touch on today. They are transmitted by parasitic larvae brought on by flies. So any fly could be infected with it and give it to your horse. And it only takes just like a small little weakened area of skin for that to happen. And unless you catch it just as it's starting, they can get so out of control. So being that you already know where these spots are, it might be a good idea to, stay proactive about it. Maybe keep these areas covered if you can. If it's on a leg, maybe put, a fly boot on or a standing wrap on if he's in the stall overnight, just to minimize any chance of a fly getting to that spot. But yeah, because the skin is already weakened and thin, that's probably why it's recurring there. And I don't know what your worming schedule is, but deworming with an ivermectin dewormer will help to kill off the parasites that cause summer sores.
Yeah. So It's just
Ivermectin, is that what you said?
yeah, ivermectin.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. It's almost like, it's like, you know, in March, it's the one on the neck, you know, in April, it's the one on, you know, just over his rump. I mean, you know, it's like, it's weird, the way it kind of moves around, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Do they ever open up to where there's like unhealthy granulation tissue in there, or is it bleeding?
it's, basically I had that kind of like the first year, or maybe the first and then second year. And then since then it hasn't been terrible. I mean, he's had summer, so, but these have not erupted to something really bad since then, but they've opened. So, but it's like, year after year, it's the same spots. So
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
yeah. So.
But yeah, so just kind of piggybacking onto that, any everyday nick or laceration is a gateway for summer sores to happen. So, you know, if you see, you know, your horse came in from turnout, excuse me, and he comes in with a little cut on his leg, you're not going to want to ignore that. The longer that they go untreated, the worse it's going to get. You know, you're going to want to start covering it up. Use some triple antibiotic ointment or Neosporin if you have. Aquaphor is another good antibiotic ointment to use. But I always like to go with just regular old Neosporin. That'll do the trick. And it'll just start helping it to heal a lot faster rather than just leaving it. If they do get really bad, where they're, you know, bigger than like a quarter sized, they can start opening and getting really deep. And on the surface, they may not look as bad, but they can be really deep in there. And a lot of them will need some debridement or surgical intervention to help to kickstart it to heal. And once you get that unhealthy granulation tissue taken care of, then it should be able to heal, but you're always going to want to keep it covered. And then I have people tell me, well, my horse has a summer sore on its face. Like, what do I do about covering his face? Keeping a fly mask on is so important if your horse has summer sore issues on their face. You'd want to make it as inaccessible to flies as you can. But if you have a summer sore in an area that, you know, is on his inner leg, something you absolutely can't cover, you can use something that is going to help to cover, but you don't want to cover and suffocate, you want to cover and heal. So something that I found that I really like it's a product called Equade, and it's kind of like a clay-based paste that you mix together. The ingredients, I'm not really sure what's in it, but there's been a lot of case studies on it, and there's some severe cases that I have seen that have in their case studies that has had a lot of success with it. I've used it on my own personal horse and some friends' horses, and it's definitely helped. But I would really only suggest that for areas that can't be wrapped up. And also, so a lot of people also like to use SWAT. Has everybody heard of SWAT?
Mm-hmm.
So some people will put SWAT on top of a wound, and we don't want to do that. So you want to just use it as, like, you know, if your summer sore is right here, you want to put your SWAT around the wound. You don't want to cover it. The SWAT will suffocate it and prolong healing time. It won't make it worse. It'll just prolong the healing time. So using SWAT around a wound, just put it around. Don't put it on.
And what about the silver sprays? Could you put silver spray on a little wound, or
Yeah,
will it
silver
suffocate?
spray is good.
Yeah.
Silver spray is good. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. Can you tell us something about the sweet itch? I have a horse that that actually, when he was here in Miami, he didn't have any issues.
Mm-hmm.
Then I sent him for retirement to Ocala. and it was terrible. I don't know. He came from a cold climate, Germany, was born there, but he seemed to handle the heat and the mosquitoes here well, until I sent him to Ocala, which was, you don't want to see the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Swedish can be pretty
yeah.
severe.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry. Yeah, I sent him out.
Swedish.
Sorry, I sent him
Go
out
ahead. I
to
can't hear you.
Kentucky about a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing much better. I give him an herb also, which claims that it works at a cellular level, and that way from the inside out protects the horse from the or makes the reaction to a mosquito bite much less or none.
Yeah, so Swedish is typically your seasonal reaction to gnats. The saliva that the gnat, bites into their skin with, it's their reaction to that. So you're going to want to try to keep your horse inside with a fan between the hours of dawn and dusk. So typically overnight, if you can, keep the horse in with a fan. Gnats are most active around dawn and dusk, so that's why I say keep them in overnight. This way you're not, having to go in and out. What areas of your horse were mostly affected by the Swedish?
Mane and tail, but chest,
mane and tail.
His belly, he got really bad.
Yeah, so those are typically your most common places to see Swedish. But really just keeping them inside with a fan in the evening hours is going to be really helpful to help lessen the effect of it. But yeah, severe cases will likely need help from steroids, other medicated topicals you could put in there. But yeah, if it gets really out of hand, you could do allergy testing. Maybe there's other allergens in the environment that are aggravating your horse in addition to the gnats. Have you ever had to use steroids to get the Swedish under control?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the steroids will do the trick to get it to heal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's doing much better now and
good.
More up north. And
That's
with I just send the herbs just in case, not to take any risk of it blowing up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have any other questions or any other skin issue you would like to know about?
A question. I heard that other people have it too, and if it's common or not to have some kind of a rash in the armpit, because I see many people have it, but do every horse have it? Rash in the armpit?
I'm not really sure exactly what you're referencing. Is it like a rub or is it like hair loss in the area?
No, it's like a scab. I think all of my horses had it, like a scabs on the leg and in the armpit area.
I would have you look at your horse's hind feet. Look at their hind shoes when they're laying down. A lot of times that causes rubbing and callousing of that particular area. In that middle of their front armpit area. Shoe boils can happen because of that.
On the front feet.
Yeah. Well, so when horses are laying down, their back feet sometimes will come up towards that area if they're laying all tucked in, and the shoe, if your horse is barefoot, if they have a little bit of a jaggedness, they're due for a trim or whatnot, that will definitely, that can cause that from happening.
Okay.
You know what?
go
Sorry.
ahead.
Go. No. You.
If it is an issue with the back feet when the horse is laying down, rubbing up against that front area of their leg, you could try putting bell boots on their hind feet. And that would, help a little bit just to take the surface pressure off of that front area that they're, putting that pressure on.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
But it
my
doesn't
horse-
look like a rub from outside. It's like inside the skin is like has some scabs that are attached to the hairs, but it's not like hairs untouched. It's just a
I think I know what you're talking
psoriasis.
about.
Yeah, my horse has it, and I also didn't know what it was, and they told me the same thing that you're saying, Kristen. And what the vets recommended is to put Desitin. You know that the thing that you put on the babies. And I put
Desitin's great.
And sometimes she gets it quite often, and sometimes she doesn't get it. But I mean, as long as I'm on top of it, and I have like a big jar of Desitin, and I put it, and that has been super good.
I stand by Desitin. I smother them in Desitin.
Yeah, me too.
From the coronet band up, from the throat down, from the armpit here. Yeah, that and preparation H. I'm not kidding. Everywhere.
Desitin. Okay, I haven't heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's for the baby rash. It kills everything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What are your favorite shampoos?
I like the Equus line the most. Cowboy Magic is another favorite of mine, but I really do favor the Equus line.
Okay.
Can you use a human shampoo on horses? Would that be okay? Or
I prefer not to. I don't recommend it, only because there's just so many ingredients and so many added fragrances to it that horses can react to. As big and as thick skin and as tough as horses are, they are such delicate little flowers, and anything can really irritate them.
yes.
So I try to stick to just the horse products, unless you're using, a human grade shampoo or conditioner in their tail, where it's not going to actually like touch their skin. That's okay. But I wouldn't fully bathe a horse in like a human shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you? I know a lot of people love to bathe their horse and shampoo it from ears to tail and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to do that once a week, or would you do it less often, or?
Once a week is a little bit excessive unless your horse has like a medical need for it. You don't want to you will dry their skin out if you're bathing them every week in a shampoo, even if you are conditioning. You want to give their skin a chance to produce its natural oils and make its way through their coat. That's how they get, the shine on their coat. Their natural oils make their skin and coat healthy. So you want to try not to take that away from them. But bathing like once a month is okay.
Okay.
And if you're, after a ride, if you want to just hose them off or give them a quick little conditioning, like that won't hurt. But once a week for a full body bath that'll probably dry their skin.
Is there anything you can do besides stop bathing them that much to put on their skin to make it, to condition it or make it softer, or?
Not really so much as topical. It's you're going to want to look more into their diet.
Like maybe flaxseed or the other oil.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, flaxseed is a good one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? We're almost done here. We're out of time. Are we good?
Good.
All right. Maybe we can share her information. So if anybody needs their horses clipped or wants to contact Kristen, so we can have that information for you.
Yep, I have a Facebook and an Instagram on social media, and I am currently based in Plantation, but I travel all through Palm Beach and Broward County, so I can go just about anywhere.
And I can attest, I have used her many times. And she clipped Zulu when he was pretty much, I think that he's only ever been clipped once before, and it was a nightmare. And Kristen came along and clipped him, and I was so impressed because she's so patient. And Zulu was just like, you know, do it. Just go ahead and do it, man. It's all good.
He was very good.
I was so impressed. Yeah, so she does a great job. He gets his like his little saddle pad area left, and I love it. At first I was like, I don't know, but now I love it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. Highly recommend. 5 stars.
Okay.
And if my horse has never been clipped before, what preparations do I need to do if I decide to clip him?
Just make sure your horse is desensitized as he can be to the clippers. You know, one day when you're introducing them, don't plan on introducing the clippers and clipping the horse on the same day. Just go very slow. You know, as you're grooming the horse, have your clippers on in your hand. Just kind of point it away from the horse so he gets used to the sound and the vibration. And I would say, like, depending on like how quiet your horse is, try not to like tiptoe around him with the clippers. Kind of have the attitude like, you know, this is no big deal. You don't want to give the horse a reason to be like, oh, like, you know, she's all nervous. Why do I have to be nervous? So keeping them nice and desensitized is definitely a good approach to introducing them. Just go very slow. And if you're going to introduce clippers to a horse that's never seen clippers before, don't automatically go for a leg or their neck. Go for where the girth would be, like behind their front leg. It's a nice, you know, unsensitive area. They're not going to feel vulnerable over there. And if you go down lower towards the belly, if you make a mistake, no one will see it. But yeah, it's definitely good to try to go for the side. Also keeping yourself safe, because you don't know how they're going to react when they feel that vibration for the first time. Giving yourself room to step away in case the horse wants to strike out or jump to the side is always keep that in the back of your head.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This was awesome, Kristen and Hillary and Benjamin. Also, thank you so much for being here. We'll help you.
Thank you for having me.
Spread the news. And well, hopefully see you on the 24th. I hope you guys are reading. And even if you can't be here on the 24th, I still recommend the book. I'm reading it, and it's
great.
really, really good. You're learning a lot. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
And don't forget to check the chat with all the information. Holly put a lot of stuff in the chat.
Cool.
Okay.
The chat, yeah, no.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Oh God.
All right, guys. See you later.
See you later.
Thank you, Kristen.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Bye,
You're welcome.
Kristen.
Bye.
Bye. All righty.
Okay, another one down.
Yay.
Caitlin, are you there? You just walked away. She probably just walked away. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so
Okay, that's great.
here she is. Caitlin.
How are you doing, Caitlin? Oh. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the links on the chat. I'm good.
Yes. How's
Yep.
Colin?
He's good. We're gonna do a schooling show next week, so he's good.
Super.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, somebody's angry. I want some attention.
Sorry.
So are you still happy with your own barn, your own house, your horse next to your
Yeah,
house?
it's good. Just want to get an arena and then I'll be all set.
Right. Okay.
So.
Slowly, you know, whenever you get a new house, you can't have it all on the first day. So
Yeah, I know.
it's nice to do everything, you know, as you want it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool though.
Awesome. So where are you going to school, to a schooling show?
At Jim, it's at Jim Brandon, just outside Wellington.
Oh.
The Palm Beach Mountain Posse.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys. Yeah. I've heard of them. Yes.
Yep. So yeah, should be good. In the covered at least.
They said as far as what they're, yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
What'd you ask?
Oh, what are they doing about their like whatever social distancing measures?
They're just, they're limiting or the no spectators, and like you can have like one person with you, like your trainer or groom or whatever. And then I'm only trailering in. I'm not staying in a stall, so I'm just gonna trailer in, ride, and then leave. And like they're not doing I guess they're like leaving the tests out so you can just pick them up. You don't have to like talk to anybody. And yeah. I mean, dressage is a lot easier than hunter jumpers, at least to social distance.
Sure it is.
Like everybody's standing around at the ring and all that. So
yeah, hunter jumpers, it's hurry up and wait.
Yeah. And I mean, you have your ride time, so it's a lot easier. You don't have to. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, good luck. I love the picture of your horse, man. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Gorgeous.
Really, really cool with all the veins that you see coming out and his muscles. You see the muscles in his neck. Really cool.
Thank you. That was from White Fences last summer.
You should have had Kristen guess which blade size you used.
Oh, that's a T84.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not a 10 blade, which I guess a 10 blade shorter. That's a T84, but yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Oh,